All right, cool. Comedy night with Ted Jones tonight. And guys, we have a very special guest. If you've ever been to a Ted Jones comedy show or comedy night with Ted Jones, you'll recognize this man to the right of the screen, left of the couch, Dr. Brick, Michael Crisall. Mike, Dr. Brick, how are you, man?
I am good. How you doing, bro?
So you're coming from a Craigslist trade?
Yes, that is why I am slightly late to be here.
Where was it? Like close to your apartment?
No, it was like I was on 59th, right off the 59th and Lex stop. I was like, because he was coming from Queens and I'm coming from the Bronx. So I was like, let's meet in the middle. And like, dude, I was like, let's shoot for 4. Dude didn't come to like 5:15.
Man.
So I was like,
where did you meet him?
what? It was a Starbucks. I was just like, let's just meet at a Starbucks.
You were just hanging there.
Yeah, and I was like, that's my go-to when I do like Craigslist trades. Like,
How often are you on Craigslist, and what are the kind of stuff you're looking for?
literally microphones, and camera equipment. Literally the things that we're
Yeah,
in this
here we
room
go.
right now.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
guys, if you've never been to a Ted Jones comedy show or comedy night with Ted Jones, you'll not recognize this man right now, but I suggest you guys come to Ted Jones comedy show or comedy night with Ted Jones. You'll see Dr. Brick. Dr. Brick starts off every show. That was crazy. There was just like a ghost there moving the freaking microphone stand. But yes, Dr. Brick, the house beatboxer, man.
Yes.
So let's start from the beginning. You know, I know that you grew up in the Bronx, right, for the most part. And how did you get into beatboxing? Just kind of give us a life story, bro.
Honestly, pure boredom. If I'm being completely honest, like I was just. Somebody asked me this question recently. Like,
Yeah.
How many years have you been beatboxing? And
Yeah.
I used to keep count. You know, like 1 year. Like every year, it's like 1 year.
Let's
from
go.
beatboxing, 2 years, and that like it's been a bit from now. So I think it's like 6 or 7.
Okay.
At this point.
And
So-
how did it start? You just like heard people beatboxing?
No, so I was like, I liked to do it like just like randomly when I was in high school. You know, like back in high school, I would just kind of do it, but I never taught myself. I just kind of, you've heard of Pentatonics, I'm assuming. You're like,
No.
Oh,
Explain.
they're like this big acapella group that got really big around that time, and like they're doing a bunch of cool stuff now. And so they had a beatboxer, and then I got introduced to the work of acapella, but I never like truly started to learn and like teach myself until I got into college.
Okay.
Like freshman year. I recently got out of a relationship, so I was just like, I got some free time.
Yeah.
I typed in how to beatbox on YouTube.
Oh,
and
dope.
The rest is history.
You know, it's funny because like you figure in the maybe like 7th and 8th grade in middle school and then like the beginning years of high school, there's always kind of that like, I feel like phase where people are trying to freestyle and people are also beatboxing. So like when kids were probably freestyling, you were the like beatboxer that was doing it. People were like, oh wow, Mike,
Yeah.
you're actually pretty good at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like nobody really freestyled in my school.
We're just giving them too much credit.
It was really just me beatboxing randomly, and like honestly, I was pretty trash. Like
You
I
were
I
trash.
I was
I don't know
hot-
if I believe
'cause-
that.
No, because I always thought I was hot. I thought I was hot shit for those 4 years out of high school because I was the only one who actually tried to beatbox, and like, but the thing is, I never taught myself, so I only knew 3 sounds. I was like, it wasn't even on beat. It was like, it was bad stuff.
So where did you go to college, by the way?
I went to CCNY.
And were you taking like music classes at CCNY?
No. I took psychology at CCNY. But my passion, yeah, I know, right? you wouldn't think that, but like, no, my passion is in music though. But like, I didn't really find that till later in college. But I finished out my degree, and so I'm like doing the beatbox thing now.
Dude, so it started on YouTube, basically?
Yeah, no. So I like looked up because like honestly, because like there's it's another world. You know how like when you're on YouTube and you go through like those like, those rabbit holes of just like, oh, these cool cooking videos, or oh, these
Everything,
cool,
yes.
literally anything. So then I went down the rabbit hole of just like beatbox videos. There's a lot because at the time it was around 2015. So yeah, 7 years. I'm right. Around 2015, the latest world champs of beatboxing just wrapped up. So there was a whole new slew of videos from the World Beatbox Championships, and so there's this guy. His name is Napalm. He's an American beatbox champion, and then his one video got very viral amongst all of them, and like it was just him like doing the craziest lowest bass, and then like that's kind of inspired like a little generation of people trying to learn that sound and then eventually get sucked in to the world of beatbox.
So at the championships, how long does like each round go?
So the way how a general battle works is like usually people send in videos about a minute to 2 minutes long, depending on the competition, and then a panel of judges ranks them on different categories, and then the top 32 or 16 get to be in the battle. like in the battle, and then it's tournament style, and then they do an elimination round there. They get seeded, like it's March Madness, and then they get seeded first versus 16th, second to 15th, and so forth, and then it goes tournament style until somebody is crowned the winner at the end of the day.
Have you ever won one of these?
Yeah, I've won a few.
Okay.
I've won a few. Not on a grand level. I was ranked one of the top 32 beatboxers in America back in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait, you went to one of these competitions though, and you finished top 32. Is that how they ranked you?
Yeah,
32?
no. So like I said, I sent in a video, and then out of the hundreds of submissions, I was ranked 26th or 27th among all of the submissions, and then I got placed, and then I got there to go to competition. I didn't get into the battles, unfortunately, but I can at least say that I was one of the top in the country for that year. And there hasn't been any recently, like on the national level, because of COVID. So because it's spinning around probably isn't the best for spreading a virus. Like making a bunch of mouth noises probably isn't the best for that.
Well, so the first time I actually saw Dr. Brick was during a show at Asylum NYC, where the Comedy Night with Ted Jones is tonight. So Dr. Brick is part of a sketch team, I believe. Is that what you can call it?
Hip hop improv.
Okay, hip hop improv class. I saw Dr. Brick at like the beginning of the show tearing it up, just fucking. Well, obviously he'll do his magic towards the end of this episode, but like anyway, was killing it, and I was just like, this I think would be great to have at a comedy show. Just kind of like the dead time between comics, man. And that's something that like when we haven't had you at a comedy show before, we really are missing you, bro. Because like the time like between, here, like welcome Ted Jones.
Yeah.
Ted Jones is walking to the stage. It takes Ted Jones 10 seconds to walk to the stage. Yeah. So if you're not there, I mean, sometimes we'll have like the music playing in between, but like it's just the in between comics, like the 15 seconds of dead time.
Yeah.
And that's where you're really valuable. And for example, if something like, I guess let's do something that people would kind of understand. If I'm like, all right, the next comic coming to the stage is Ted Jones. Walking the stage, yes, I'm shaking. Shake the comic's hand, grab the mic, look at Dr. Brick. Yes, thank you. Wow, cool. I didn't even know you were doing that. How funny is that? Almost every single comic does that, right?
Yeah.
It's great. And even the comics that are watching beforehand and like see Dr. Brick do the whole thing, I just don't think they expect it,
I don't know they don't.
So,
no one ever does.
So the hip hop improv group, how did you kind of get involved with North Coast?
Well, it's funny. It was like I said, I started beatboxing when I was in my freshman year of college, and then like I just wanted to dive right into the live beatboxing right away. So I found whatever I could, and there was this program. There's this organization called Beat Global that I'm a part of still today, where they teach kids. They use hip hop and teach it in schools, and so they were hosting an open mic. So I was like, wow, open mic. I want to try some new shit to some people I've never seen before.
Where was it though? It was close to you?
Yeah, no, it's in Times Square. There's this place called Funkadelic Studios. Like it's just like a rehearsal studio that people like rent out for like events and stuff like that. And so one of the other people there was another beatboxer. His name is Amir, and like he was like, I've never met another beatboxer in person until that point. So I was like, oh my God, I just want to talk to him about so much. And he's like, how long have you been beatboxing? He was like, when I met him, he was like, 7-8 years.
Oh, wow.
I was like, holy shit. And so he was on the team at the time. And
North Coast?
Yeah. And so like but I was very fresh. So like after a year of knowing each other, he kind of put me on like other hip hop improv. There's more than just North Coast in the city. Like at the time, there were more hip hop improv like things to do in the city, so he would put me on those before he brought me onto the team. And then by the time I turned 21, he was like, yo, you want to do the thing? And then like I got an email from like the people, and yeah.
And so how long have you been with North Coast?
At this point, probably like after I turned 21, so like 3-4 years.
And how often are you guys practicing, and then how often are you guys getting on stage and actually performing?
We usually rehearse before every show, so it depends on how often we have shows each month. So maybe once or twice a month. So rehearse once or twice a month, depending on how often. Like that's usually because there's a bunch of people, so it's hard to get a bunch of people in the room. I don't know if you have to like organize a bunch of things every month, but like since everybody's got their own lives, it's difficult.
Totally. Well, especially like if it's just you and you have to do something, you don't really have to check with anyone.
Of course.
Have you met anyone who you've been like, oh wow, this person, maybe I wasn't thinking was my idol, but now that I've met them, I mean, they're so great at their craft. This person could potentially be my idol.
Are you talking
in the space, in the beatboxing?
In the beatbox space?
Yes.
Like I haven't seen them before. Oh, it's hard because, like I said, when you go into like that YouTube like wormhole of just beatbox stuff, you've probably seen everybody there is to know, but like you don't get to meet them because usually they're abroad, they're from other places or stuff like that. So I mean, like I can't pinpoint one person exactly, but like I said, when I said that guy Napalm, who I saw his video like on from the World Champs, he's part of a collective of beatboxers called the Beatbox House, and they organize like battles and stuff in New York. And so I got to meet all of them in person. And I was like the 2016 or 17 American Championships. I went there just to watch it.
Yeah.
And then they were just like chilling about, and I was like, oh my god, you guys are like my idols. But then,
dope.
but like when you meet a celebrity or something, they're just
people.
They're just people doing their thing, and they just happen to catch more eyes than you. So like I treated them like they were royalty, but now they know me on a name basis, and like I actually just saw them last Saturday. I was at a beatbox battle.
So what does your family think about it?
My family, I'm Asian, I'm Filipino, so I don't know if you know the stereotypes, but like they want you to be. They come to this country and they want you to be like a doctor or a doctor, engineer, accountant. Lawyer, astronaut, something like that. something with like something with like a nice title.
Yeah,
that they
beatboxer's nice.
That they can say to like the family and like oh my son's a doctor or something like that.
Well, bro, you are a doctor, freaking Dr. Brick. What do you mean? Exactly. Your parents supposed to be proud.
Yeah, can I bring this here?
Yeah, dude. Freaking mess with. And bro, have some of that water here. It's all here for you. Yes, the big bottle. Guys, we treat our guests well here on the Ted Jones World podcast. If you guys are free next week, okay, as you're listening to this, we have the Ted Jones Comedy Show, April 12th, 7 p.m. I do believe Dr. Brick will be there, correct? Absolutely. It's going to be amazing. So if you guys are not at the show tonight, as we're recording this, come to the Ted Jones Comedy Show at the Stand, 7 p.m. April 12th.
It's got me that pH balanced
Yes,
water.
bro. I got to get you hydrated so you're out there spitting it for real. So your parents, I'm sure now, though, are more supportive than you just picking it up within the first few months.
They are, because like before at the time, I was in college to be before I was psychology, I was there to be an engineer. Like I said, one of those professions, like, cause I came from an all science high school, and like all my friends were like,
would you go to Bronx Science?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. There you go. Good
did
call by me. No, you didn't. It was just a good call. Well, I know
that was actually a really good call.
Well, I went to high school in the city too, and that was one of the 5 high schools that you take the special entrance exam.
Yeah.
So it's Stuytown, Brooklyn Tech, Brooklyn Science.
Yeah, Bronx Science.
And then what is it? Beacon, another one, maybe?
Yeah, Beacon. Like, but I only applied to Sty, Bronx Science, and Brooklyn Tech.
Oh shit! So were your parents like pissed when you didn't get into Stuyvesant?
No. They were surprised I got into one of them.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
that's solid.
Because I was because I came from a Catholic middle school.
Okay.
Like from like kindergarten to 8th grade, and so I always thought I was going to be going to like a Catholic high school. But then I took that test, and then I ended up going to Bronx Science.
They were probably fired up also public high school.
And public high school, so you don't have to pay. So they were like, fuck yeah.
So you went to Bronx Science, and then how was your transition from there?
Transition, I was just like, all my friends, they all came from the same science school. They were like, oh, I'm going to be an engineer or something like that. So I was like, I guess I'll do that too. I had no real clue. And so about a year or 2 into it, I was just like not feeling it. And then I just kind of like took a gap year. My parents weren't happy about that. And I just kind of decided to go all in with the beatboxing stuff. Then I eventually went back to just finish it off, just to get the degree and whatnot. Not engineering, but just to get the degree. Mm-hmm. And, from that point on, I'm still been doing the thing. It's been a slow grind, but like, not exactly livable, but I'm happier than I definitely would have been if I continued to be if I want to be an engineer. Because I have some friends who just and I see like the memes or whatever. It's just like some people just like dreading the work. Of course, the pay is nice, but it's just like I was like, I don't actually want to know this shit. I was like, ugh. Well,
what were your hours kind of going to be looking like if you were to go into that industry?
I don't know. I honestly have no fucking clue. But it was just like all the work to do that. Like it wasn't me at the time. Like I was around a lot of science growing up, but like until when I finally gained a personality for myself, like it was like, because like I wasn't like this. I wasn't like an art driven person for a long time until I picked up beatboxing. It was always school first. That's it, and like I always came back with the good grades, but I was like, I didn't really have I wasn't Dr. Brick. I was like Michael with good grades,
And you have siblings?
Yes, I have siblings.
So what do they do?
The younger sister, she's still in college right now. She's actually doing psychology too.
Oh, nice.
I know, but she seems more into it than I am. So like, good for her. And my brother, he's older. He's like 9 years older than me. He's at CBS Showtime actually. He's like a digital media producer. I think that's the title. It changes every time I ask him.
Okay.
But you know, he goes around. He helps produce content for Showtime. So and like one of his big roles in that is like, you know, like he goes to, like, you know, the Showtime, they host big boxing events. Like, you remember like the Floyd versus McGregor fight?
Yeah.
He had to follow that whole tour before like they actually did. So he was like involved in all that. Like he had to.
How do you mean?
Like so, you know, like I wasn't aware of this. So like when big boxing events like that happen, they do like a whole like
Promo tour.
Yeah, promo tour. So they go to places, you know, they interview them, and like, you know, they always have to keep the eyes on, because like, what if they're gonna like fight on before the fight actually happens? So like he has to help promo that stuff. And yeah, stuff like that. He interviews them for like the YouTube videos and stuff.
Oh,
like
dope.
Yeah, and so he actually gets to be ringside for most of the fights, because he gets to he has to shoot content for like Instagram and TikTok. So like that's his job.
That's amazing.
So like he always gives us like the promo codes, like the free promo codes to watch the fights, and then like he's just like, look out for me. And so like half the time I'm not even watching the fight. I'm just trying to find my brother. I'm just trying to look for my brother.
Funny.
And it's so funny. He's so just like zoned in. He's just like there. Looking, he's not even like enjoying the fight. He's just trying. He's trying to get that money shot, like the knockout.
He's
you know?
working.
And like, you know, if he gets it, you know, and like gets a bunch of views on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. And
so he is in charge of the. He's like the social media creator.
Yeah, social media. Social, because it's not just social media, because it's like he also very heavily involved with, like the YouTube side of it.
PR
like,
kind of.
PR, yeah. There's another show they do called All the Smoke.
Yes,
yeah.
with freaking Matt Barnes and Jerry Stackhouse.
Yeah. So
Jerry Stackhouse.
I don't know who it is, but he works directly with those people.
Steven Jackson, excuse me. Okay.
So he works directly with those people, and that's one of the big projects that he helps with. Too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have your parents ever been to a show? One of your shows?
My shows?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have. I do. My dad hasn't been to a Northwest show. My mom's been to a few, you know, and my dad and they've seen. I'm also in a band.
Oh, really?
As a beatboxer.
Oh,
yeah,
dope. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what's that? It's like they're playing instruments as well?
Yeah. So it's a full blown out band, you know, guitarist, bassist, piano, rapper, singer. Instead of drumming, I beatbox. So, you know, like imagine, yeah. So yeah, exactly that.
Is that your number one pursuit right now?
It's a passion project of mine, because like I've always wanted to be in a group as musically inclined, because hip hop improv with North Coast, while I love it, it's like that's not my passion, you know. It's just something, it's fun, you know, something fun to do, you know. And like I really enjoy the people I work with, but like, you know, I want to do stuff like make music, you know. It's beatboxing, you got like, it's grounded in hip hop, and you want to make stuff with it, you know. There's only so much you can do by yourself. Like, yeah, I can like make, you know, things by myself, but like being a part of like a band and stuff like that, I'm a big fan of Linkin Park. So like, and or punk rock, whatever. And like the band like aspect is so like cool to me, you know, just like performing together as a cohesive unit, like making fucking awesome music. That's awesome. And so like, yeah, I'm part of a band that does that.
Would you potentially just make like a solo album of you just beatboxing, like 10 tracks?
Well, there's actually like beatboxers have done that recently. It's slow. It's unheard of right now. I'm not unheard of. It's out there right now, but I don't know if I'd personally want to do that. I would like to do stuff like that for the band, because right now we're like trying to make an album, and one of the things, they want one of the tracks to be just straight me, just all beatbox, because like in the beatbox scene, like I make routines for battles, so like, and they've heard me do it, and I performed one of them like when we do our sets live, like just to fill out time. And like they're like, yo, we would really like that to be like one track, because it takes me I'm very slow at making content myself, you know, and it's nice to have people who are actually more musically inclined than I am to like create music, you know, because I'm, like I said, I'm self-taught, so I don't have a foundational grounding in music like some people do. Like, you know, they learn piano or they learn guitar or they learn how to sing when they grow up. I didn't, you know, but it's nice to be around those people to create. But eventually maybe, but like that's not on my high priority to make like a solo album for myself.
And you're not reading music though, right?
Yeah, no, I don't read music. Like I honestly don't understand music, like chords, notes, none of that. You know, I like truly I just feel like whatever music's happening, like, and I just try to match that energy in the best way I know how, and it works out.
Do you feel like any of the connections that you've made, you know, within the last 6 years are something that can keep pushing you forward? You know, whether it's like North Coast or whether it's the band, what do you feel like is going to propel you forward the most, or a comedy show, whatever you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. Like that's a hard question to ask, when you're in the arts. It could be anything from just like that one viral video, or just like, you become part of like an even like crazier, like more, popular group and something. And like, because that's what some artists, like guitarists or whatever, they get their big break by like, maybe they perform with Bruno Mars or something like that, or they get to go on tour with like the I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers still around, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, they get to fill in for those people, and that's one of those things. But I truly don't know where that would be for me currently. I'm young, I'm 25, like I don't know, but like at this, like, yeah, just that would probably be one of the big ways to like get that break.
Go ahead.
No, like you can go.
I feel like there's so many pockets for a guy like yourself to succeed. Whether you get hired by like the New York Knicks and you're doing the beatbox when they're dribbling the ball up the court, or you're hired at a concert. I feel like there's just so many avenues for a different type of music, like the type of, I don't even know if you can call it like a different type of music. How do you I guess you call it like a different type of craft, no?
Yeah.
A type of making music.
Yeah, because beatboxing is it's a very niche thing, obviously. Uh-huh. So like, the fact that I even found like my own in with North Coast and with the band, like that's honestly that's like that's hard to find, because like, because I'm also in New York, which is always a big plus. Like I wouldn't have found people like you, if I wasn't anywhere else, because like it's hard to make it, as a beatboxer, when the role is so niche, and like and either you have to find your own way to make it work, or you find places where they want that, and so like luckily I found two homes right now where I can make that a thing. And especially in the beatbox community themselves, like actually going to battles, that's its own culture in itself. It's a fun thing to like find people, connect with people. Because I don't know how I would survive. Because right now I don't imagine seeing myself doing this in other places besides New York. Right,
I saw you were doing, you had a show in DC pretty recently.
Yeah, but with North Coast, and they booked us to be there. So like, you know what I mean? Like, and I find a lot of like opportunity here. I don't know where else I find that. Sure, like I know there are other beatboxers who make their living elsewhere, but right now I have so many things right here. I'd rather not, deviate or go away, because then I have to start from scratch again. And right now I want to have a better foundation of that for myself before I would venture out, that kind of thing.
What do you have, or I guess what does North Coast kind of have planned for the future, if you guys have ever spoken about that? And then also your band, if you guys just have an idea of what's going to happen within the next few months.
I don't have for North Coast, I'm not like one of the bigger, I'm not like management part of, like, so like I don't know if I can talk about some of the stuff that we do have plans for going up, but like right now we have we're just continuing to push out the shows that we usually do, Anybody or the regular home show. And for that's it for right now. And like we've been pushing out our social media game, like making reels and content and whatnot. But for the band, like right now we're trying to just like, I joined the band later in its creation because like they already had music, and for a while I was just me and like the rest of the instrumentalists. We were trying to like pick up like the music that was already there, but right now we're trying to like create music as a whole. Now this is to make it our thing and push it out. So once we get past that, we can find out like what our more identity is like. But we performed live a bunch, and like I think we have good like pull, and we have good like we can make a good show happen. Like I believe that wholeheartedly. Like we make a damn good show, and like not just because I'm beatboxing, just because like the music itself is good.
So what has been your highlight since starting beatboxing a number of years ago?
My highlight is one of them, like I said, like being ranked as one of the best beatboxers in the US. That's big. Like I'm going to take that with me to my grave unless I become ranked number one, but I don't know. We'll see about that. But that's definitely one of them. Just like being able, I never traveled a lot growing up. My family, whenever we went to vacation, we go to like Atlantic City. Usually it's right there, but from New York to Atlantic City, it's not that far.
Yeah, like hour and a half, right?
Yeah, an hour and a half. Yeah, and but we never really like took like a big trip. So North Coast, like they allowed me to travel to like just not even like crazy places. Like we went to Florida, like one of my very first gigs with them, like when I just joined, like let's go to Florida, like Sarasota, and like they perform at like improv places there. Like I got to battle in Canada. I got to we put me and my tag team partner and also my girlfriend, she's a beatboxer as well, and
amazing.
like we made an elimination round and we sent it, and we got to go to Canada to battle it out. I mean, we didn't get far, but like, you know, the fact that I got to do that with my craft, you know, I got invited to be at this international beatbox battle and do the thing that I want to do. That's pretty cool. I don't know. We've done that the past few years. I've been to like Boston, what is it, like DC. I haven't been out to the West Coast for beatboxing yet, but hopefully that would be pretty cool. But,
so how does it usually work? Like when you go on a trip to, you say like Sarasota with the North Coast, like how does that, like the club is just paying the North Coast team?
Yeah. So like I can't speak for how all the money gets. I'm like again, I'm not management, but like yeah, they reach out to us and like, hey, do you want a spot? And like to be on like, because it's usually improv festivals that we go to. So like, you know, like when we usually like they give us like one of those, like one of a slot, and we get to perform there, and like they pay us to be there. And so yeah, they pay for lodging and stuff like that. And yeah,
nice.
That's how that works out. I don't know much more than that, but yeah, I'm just like, sure, I'll go. Go. They just like, are you available? I'm like, yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
And it's got to be great now that you've been with them for, you know, a few years. So you ultimately probably feel like a family with them. Is it always the same, 6 to 8 people that are on stage? No, actually,
like it's funny when I first, I mean, like I don't know how it is for other improv groups, but like this group, North Coast has been through a bunch of different iterations even before I was on the team. Like, you know, I wasn't the only beatboxer. There have been other beatboxers before me who have been on the team, and like there have been other improvisers on the team, because then they move on to do other things. They move away physically, or they just don't feel hip hop improv is their thing anymore. It's, and I don't know. I haven't met or seen all of them, but like the group I joined is not the same group I is now, but like the level is still just the same. It's just as high, you know, like they all perform very well. They do their craft very well. Yeah. No.
Any local gigs in the Bronx? Or you find yourself mostly down here?
I was asked this recently too. Like, you know, I don't know what's happening. And it's funny because beatboxing hip hop itself originated in the Bronx. Like when it, like hip hop started in the 80s, so did beatboxing. It's like the fifth forgotten element of hip hop, and like, but it started there. But like in terms of venues, I could be wrong, but I've never been booked, nor have I been nor am I aware of any venues that are in the Bronx. I could just be ignorant, and I've lived there all my life. Yeah, but I've never had the chance to perform anywhere in there, and like I've talked to people like, yeah, that should change. Yeah, you know.
Well, I kind of wonder because I know that, I mean, in places like Harlem, and I've heard of the Bronx, they have like freestyle battles up there.
Probably. I haven't been around for those.
Yeah, like, so I mean, I would think that there would, you know, be some. I mean, if they knew about you, then they would obviously want to have you there. Probably, you know, something like that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, but like a lot of shows and stuff are usually in Manhattan or Brooklyn. You know this probably as a booker yourself. You know, you're just like trying to find places to be at, or like, you know, yeah.
So what's a favorite place you visited then?
Visit in terms of just like
visit even without North Coast and without your passion and talent.
Well, actually, like I got to go to the Philippines for the first time. What? Like literally like 2019 January, and because my dad was always like, oh my God, we'll go to the, we were always, as you know, I always said we always go to like Atlantic City or something. Like there was like, we'll go to the Philippines next year.
This was the trip.
We'll go next year. We'll go next year. And so finally it happened in like January, and we were like, okay, we all going, and it was a whole big thing. And yeah, I was just like, and it's funny, I'm Filipino myself, and I don't, but the thing is, I don't actually speak Tagalog or Filipino or any dialect of it. And so just like, but like just being there was just interesting, because I'm just like, wow, I'm finally where, you know, my parents are from. We stayed in the house that my dad grew up in.
Oh, because with your grandparents?
Yeah, no, because my grandma's the only living relative only living grandparent, you know,
on both sides.
From both sides, yeah. And so she lives with us at home here in New York, but the one who owns the house there now is my dad's brother. He was one of 4, but one of them decided to take over the house, and we stayed there because my grandma was she when she came over here, she like took the money and she funneled it to the Philippines to renovate and build a house, because she was like, in case the family wants to come over, and that was fine. It was finally the time. So yeah, I got to go do a bunch of cool stuff over there. You know, just like, it's hot. But I came in January, so it's not as hot as it could have been, but it was still like close to 100, which is fucking crazy.
What's the latitude of? Oh my god, we used to have a map up here that I was just
sad.
looking for. What's the latitude of the Philippines?
I'm shit at geography. I'm sorry.
I gotta look this up. Whatever. I'm gonna look this up, but keep talking. So
Yeah,
it was fun down there, hot as balls.
Hot as balls. Yeah, I went to like Porto Galera. We went like island hopping for a little bit with the fam, and it was just a good time in general. We went to this island called Porto Galera, and it's close to this volcano called Taal, I believe is what it's called. I could be wrong, but so we were there, and it's funny. And then our way back from the islands, we drove past it. We went up to the Starbucks where you can see the volcano. It's crazy imagine seeing a volcano from a Starbucks. You can't get that here in the city. Well, like. We were looking at it, I was like, yo, that's cool. And then we drove back to my dad's old childhood home where we stayed. And then the next day, it erupted.
Oh my God. And how often had it erupted in the past?
I don't remember, but it's been like at least decades since the last time it erupted.
That's crazy.
And so we were literally one day removed from being stuck over there from that volcano erupting. And the crazy thing is my dad's home was near Manila, but more in the outskirts of it. And like, the volcano is 3 hours away, and the ash, it came all the way over there, and it rained ash over us. Like, yeah,
3 hour drive.
Yeah, 3 hour drive.
Oh my god!
And so the ash came all the way over to Manila, and it's just there's ash falling stuff. Like I went on my weather app, and it just said ash. I swear to God, I took.
It's like air quality, absolutely awful. Ash, absolutely awful.
That could have been crazy, but I was like, I got to touch volcanic ash for the first time.
You brought it home with you, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You fit in a bag. So, by the way, guys, I'm looking at the map right here. Philippines, it's pretty close to the equator, man.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
sense.
The center of the entire world, like literally one of the hotter places in the entire world. We're talking same latitude as Yemen, Chad, Nigeria, Mali, and then Cancun, Mexico, Caribbean. But I mean, when it's all, how long was that flight, dude?
Oh, that's like a whole day. It's like 15, 17 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, it's like right next to Australia.
Yeah.
Like one of the probably further flights you can get leaving from New York.
we had to get a layover from Taiwan, but still, that's a long time,
Now, how long were you there for?
What, in the Philippines?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
And when was that?
Like I said, January 2019.
Oh, right.
And it's interesting. So like January 2019, if we're all keeping track, that's literally when COVID started, right?
Well, I thought it was January 2020.
No, it was 20.
No, it was January 2020,
2020?
bro. Yeah. Is that when you went?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right. I'm sorry. Like 2019. January.
It was the year before. It was
2020.
It'd be a good excuse for your dad. Next year, we're going to the Philippines.
No. God damn it. Yeah, no, 2020. Yeah, so that's when COVID started. Like February, March-ish. So like, but in January, that's when the murmurs started happening.
Wait, but you went in January 2020 to the Philippines?
Yes.
Okay, so not 2019.
2019. No, it's 2020.
2020, January 2020.
Sorry, because like the year just turned 2020
okay.
at that point.
Cool.
Yeah. So we were there, and then like there were murmurings of COVID or whatever, and then it was like,
especially it's like kind of next to China.
Yeah, exactly. So like everybody was kind of iffy, and then we got back to America, and literally like everywhere went in lockdown.
And you were there for freaking 3 weeks too.
Exactly.
You almost got caught.
And so literally, if we stayed there for like a week or two longer, we probably would have been stuck there for a while.
Well, luckily you had a house to stay in potentially. Was
exactly. We would have, yes. But still, imagine like,
yeah, dude, that's
like
nuts. Because you would have been. I mean, you would have been stuck there for probably 2 months.
Probably
after that.
Exactly.
Where were you when COVID happened? Like, what was happening? Were you in school at this particular time?
Yeah, I was. So like the semester literally just started. It was March. March is when like New York shut down.
Yeah, March like 13th.
Yeah. That's and literally in like that week I had a show in my band, and we had like we like marketed the fuck out of that.
Oh, the momentum was going.
Yeah, we marketed the fuck out of that one show, and we had like 100+ people projected this show up, and like it got cut in half.
Bro, I remember that. I had a show then too.
Yeah,
man.
and then it got cut in half. I mean, we still put on the show because like I'm gonna do this regardless, whatever happened. And then literally like the next day, everybody was like, "All right, everybody's got to stay home."
Where was the show?
What?
Where was the show?
It was at Drum. It's like in near the Lower East, like it's near like
Lower East Side somewhere.
Yeah, Lower East Side somewhere.
So my dad had his like reunion swim. My dad was on the swimming team at NYU, and he had his reunion like swimming event. It was like a 20 or 25 year after he graduated from. It's probably 25 years after he graduated from college. So we were all in this the NYU Swimming Center auditorium with like 400 people. This was like the day before they were announcing everybody just like clock it out. But then, I mean, luckily I didn't get COVID. But I imagine that's like the worst place to be in like a big freaking pool theater like that.
Definitely.
But it was funny, man. So Dr. Brick, this has been an amazing episode, and we have Comedy Night with Ted Jones in about 40 minutes. This is pretty hilarious considering we're pretty close. So Dr. Brick, before we get out of here, man, can you please plug your socials and plug when the next time we can see you besides the Ted Jones Comedy Show on April 12th?
Definitely. You can follow me at the Dr. Brick on Instagram. You can see at Molly for Now. That's my at Molly for Now music on Instagram, and at North Coast NYC. That's where you can see me doing all the beatbox things, all the things that I do. You could probably see me besides the Ted Coast Comedy Show tonight and next week. I'm also doing a North Coast show with Anybody, our show called Anybody on April 16th. That is also my birthday, actually.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah, so
where's that going to be?
That's at the Asylum.
Asylum NYC. So you guys just check out asylumnyc.com and you get to that show. It's North Coast?
North Coast, yeah.
April 16th.
April 16th.
What time? Do we know?
I believe it's like 7 or 8.
Check the freaking website. It's 7 or 8, guys.
Follow us.
Dr. Brick, thank you so much, man. What an episode. Guys, you got to get to know this guy. Follow him, okay? We'll see you guys next time. Peace.